morning, everyone. Abraham CARRANZA coming to you from My Mastermind.
And Emily CARRANZA.
Today, guys, in our scaling classes, we have these Monday through Friday. We wanted to give you a little bit of value every week. So this week, Emily was out of town, and I've been out of town working on different projects. So we're back in the groove here. We're back in studio, shall you say. I want to talk to you guys about the brain. And what does the brain do and how does it work? The brain, relatively, is an electronic switching station, right? So it receives and transmits information. We receive the information from our senses, right? So the senses pick it up and it brings it up in a light image. And because we think in pictures, we have a picture associated with feelings. And then that induces what? Our memories. Right? So we pick up information, but it's being registered on the screen of the mind through previous coding, previous information that we have, right? And I wanted to break down a little bit of how we use this affirmative power, which is our thought process, and then how the law works with us, and then how we use that same law and force and affirmative power to use the imagination to create whatever it is that we want. I'm going to go over the affirmative power by Judge Thomas Troward. Thoroughly to realize the true nature of affirmative power is to possess the key to the great secret. We feel its presence in all the innumerable forms of life by which we are surrounded, and we feel as the life in ourselves. And at last, someday, the truth bursts upon us like a revelation that we can wield this power, this life, by the process of thought. And as soon as we see this, the importance of regulating our thinking begins to dawn upon us. We ask ourselves, what is this thought process? And we then find that it is thinking affirmative force into forms, which are the product of our own thought. We mentally conceive the form, and then we think life into it. Now, if the brain is the electronic switching station and it's picking up information from our external world, it's telling us what's going on the outside, but always what is going on the outside is always a reflection of what's going on the inside. We could never move into a direction and move things or thinking stuff into form without having an outside, which is matter. We see matter as our home, our house, right? Our vehicles, our cars. A lot of times we'll gauge this to money. We gauge it to our experiences. Those are all outside what?
Those are all just outside things that
originated from
a thought.
From a cause form. Which this is where we need to really understand where is first cause then.
Whatever you're thinking.
It's whatever we're thinking. Remember that our surroundings are always a direct reflection on our level of awareness.
Yeah.
Good. So as we start to understand what the brain does, electronic switch station, what is our affirmative power? That's our thinking stuff. How we think is ultimately how we project to the world, and the world will project back to us everything that we're in harmony with. Mm-hmm. Right? The law is a process that works for everyone, everywhere, all the time. It's the process from which the unseen becomes the seen. It's a process where the dreamer manifests the dream. You see, we come into this world, and a lot of times we're really not directing our thought form where we want to go. We're really not directing it, what do I want? We're really not directing it, how do I want to experience my life? Are we really choosing, or are we letting outside circumstances control the inside? What happens whenever we operate in that manner, opposite of the law?
Well, I mean, typically whenever that happens, you see people just going through their day, reacting off of the senses. And he kind of went over that just a little bit earlier. So one of the really big things is just being aware, not really going through that, because the more you can start using this kind of what Abraham was talking about and just
affirmative power.
Yes. Really thinking into what it is that you want and really just going through your day and really understanding that you can decide and dictate what it is that you do throughout your day, and you
Where
don't
you're
have
going.
and you don't have to let outside forces dictate how you're gonna react or even move.
How you're going to respond, more importantly. Majority of the people are reacting. You don't want to react, you want to respond, and you want to touch lightly. If we want to go into a different direction and we want to have a better life, we need to stop letting go of our power, and that means letting the outside control the inside. If we live in a world where the outside is always dictating where we're going, we're never in control of the flow. We're letting the outside.
Well, ultimately, you're letting the outside control you. And one of the things that you really need to be aware of first is really understanding and really thinking, am I reacting off of my thoughts? Is it really me? Am I really thinking into what it is that I want? Am I thinking into the results that I'm wanting? And really just understanding that everything that we do think from, and I say that with parentheses, think, because most people don't really, we were never really taught how to think.
They're letting the conditions, the circumstances think for them. This is where we have it backwards. Almost everybody has it backwards. We let the outside control the inside. We let the circumstances. We let the payroll. We let the report card. We let the circumstances that we're in. We let the job. We let the people. We're always giving our power away because we never decide
where it is that we're wanting to go. And ultimately, once you do set that, what is it that you want? What do you desire? What do you want to accomplish within your lifetime? Once you set that and you start using your creative faculty, you start using the imagination, that's whenever you start moving and dictating what it is that you're going to be doing every day. And it'll get to the point where you start moving in the direction that you want, not just every day, every second, every minute. And you already know what it is that you really, really want to achieve. And this is really, really huge because, well, whenever you start doing that, you start to realize that, your pre-programming is what we call it. Those aren't necessarily yours.
And it doesn't serve you.
Yes.
If you're not, if you can't break the chain and if you're stuck, it's because the old thing and stuff doesn't serve you anymore. If you're wanting to go somewhere different, you've got to reprogram, and you've got to be able to let yourself receive the good that you want. But in order to do that, you've got to set the destination. You've got to set the GPS. The mind is what? The mind is movement. So you've got to set the movement. You've got to set the target. Law is a process that works for everyone, everywhere, all the time. It's the process from which the unseen becomes the seen. It's how the invisible becomes the visible. And it's the process through which a dreamer manifests the dream. We can wield this power. We can decide. And when you do that by the power of the imagination. I wanted to take you full circle here. Now we're going to use the imagination. The imagination is literally the workshop wherein are fashioned all plans created by man. The impulse, the desire is given shape, form, and action through the aid of the imaginative faculty of the mind. We can think things into creation. We can decide how we want to experience our lives. But that takes what?
Well, it starts with the decision ultimately.
And discipline.
You need to decide that that's where you're wanting to go.
You need to decide, is this really who I think I am? Is this really where I want to go? Is this the life that I want to experience? And you can choose. It's a choice, but you've got to choose. If this is information that serves you, if this is something you want to look more into, if you want to go somewhere you've never been, you need to get involved. Remember, personal development is a choice, but you're always going somewhere. The majority of the people are going to a road to where?
Well,
whatever they already know how.
Yeah.
Whatever you already know how. So whether you already know how to make 30,000, whether you already know how to make 50,000, whether you know how to make 100, whether you know how to make 500, whether you know how to make $1 million or a couple million, 3 million, 4 million. You can only keep producing what you know with your level of awareness. And if you want to go somewhere beyond, give us a call. I hope this serves you. And look forward to hearing you and talking to you some more.
All right, I hope you guys have a great day. And just a reminder, if you guys do want to go ahead and reach out to us, you can message me or Abraham, and we'll be more than happy to get with you guys, and even to get you started with our scaling classes,
Scaling for life.
Yes, which is ultimately really good. If you're not in it, you need to be, because it's just it's Monday through Friday, and it's just it helps
Keeping you on track. So
Yes.
it's scaling. That's exactly what it's called, scaling for life. If you're not directing your thoughts and you're not directing where you're going, then something else will. And that's the patterning. We get stuck in patterns, and we're habitual by nature. So if you want to get unstuck, you have to have someone that's helping you progressively move in the direction of a goal, of a destination, of a desire. So we're here for you guys.
All right. You have a great day.
Have a great day, guys.